This old man pulled down the switch, and from that moment on, the world was plunged into darkness. Because the king loved to wage wars, the soldiers were constantly fighting, but the old man just wanted to sleep. When the king saw that it had turned dark, he took out his flashlight and the beam of light shone on the battlefield. The old man, who had just been about to fall asleep, was woken up again. He had no choice but to flip the switch back on and then turn the shower head towards the world. As the droplets of water began to fall, a heavy rain started, and soon the floodwaters began to slowly inundate the world. The old man thought he could finally get some sleep, but the king simply created a submarine. Before long, the old man was woken up again by the sounds of war, for the battlefield had shifted from the land to the ocean because of the great flood. Seeing this, the old man struggled to pull up the chain and pulled out the plug. The floodwaters in the world receded rapidly, but even with the ship stranded, the fighting continued. The soldiers fought their way back from the ocean to the land, and under the king's command, they kept on battling. So the old man had to come up with a new plan. He followed the road to the world and built a stadium. Sure enough, the soldiers laid down their weapons and went to participate in the competition. But not long after, the old man was woken up again by the sounds of war. The soldiers had started fighting once more, this time over the stadium. The old man was very angry. Looking at the war-loving king, he picked up the telephone beside him on the other end. The Grim Reaper in hell received the command and sent 2 of his underlings. The king, unaware that his actions had caused trouble for himself, was still busy directing the battle. The hellish underlings who emerged from the ground took the king away and rode the elevator to hell. On their way to the cell, the king saw a strange man who was struggling to push a boulder up a slope. The king was puzzled. In this way, the king was locked into the cell by the Grim Reaper, and a large lock was hung on the cell door. After the Grim Reaper and his underlings left, the man who was pushing the boulder was now being chased by it and was running for his life. Watching this man, the king came up with an idea. When the man ran in front of the king's cell, the king rescued him and asked the man to help open the big lock. The man agreed, but as soon as the king came out, he locked the man into the cage. However, the man did not resist, perhaps because he thought pushing the boulder uphill was too tiring. The king didn't pay attention to these things. He quietly left the place and started to climb back to the land.